Hi there, I'm Emma Rowena. I'm an intuitive, a musician, and a guide. And today I would like to talk about fear. I don't know how much fear you encounter in your life, or how much fear you bring into your life, or live your life by. I used to live by fear all the time. It used to be my default. I didn't recognize it because it was my default. It was all I knew. But fear was the basis of all my choices, all my reflections, the way I viewed myself, the way I met other people, the way I dressed, the way I ate, the way I played the piano, terrified of what people would say or think and not being good enough and not fitting in. Now, there are all kinds of reasons for this, and I talk a bit about it in my upcoming book. But my point today, as I explore these topics, as I'm preparing to create a workshop for you online or live here where I live, I go through different topics that I find interesting and that I know a lot of people seek help to understand and to handle in their own lives, and fear is one of them. Now, what is fear? Well, it's an instinct, right? It's a natural reaction when you're threatened on your life. But we have extended that to include all sorts of things that we don't need to be fearful of. We don't need to be afraid of coming late, because nobody's going to, kill us for it. Of course, yes, there might be consequences. So sometimes our stress, our worry is warranted. But have you heard the saying, how many of your worries have actually come true? Only when it happens do you need to react to it or be fearful. So when you're worried about somebody not liking you, worried about coming late, worried about getting ill, it's most likely not going to happen, most of it. So rather than spending our time being fearful and worried and stressful, stress is another form of fear. It is a reaction to an idea that it is important to do this in the right time, or to act in a certain way, to follow the rules of the society, and if you don't, you won't fit in. So you're afraid of being rejected, of being scolded, of being not loved ultimately. So if you recognize that, think again now, how much fear do you have in your life? How much is fear governing your days? Don't get disheartened. Don't lose faith if you find that this is a lot, because it doesn't have to be that way. It can be relieved. I am not living from fear now. Yes, I encounter fear in between when I find myself in situations that I'm uncertain about, or old patterns of stress or worry can come up. But now I know that this is not my truth. It's not my default. I have a foundation of confidence, of self-worth, of being in the right place at the right time. Even when I object to where I am, I know that there's a reason, and I try to trust it. But when the fear gets to me, what can you do? When fear gets to you, when it sort of grabs you, it usually grabs me in the solar plexus. What can you do? I had a very interesting reflection this morning as I went for a walk with my dog. Actually, I was watching her as she was swimming, and that's when my reflections often come, is when I'm not trying to reflect, right? Anyway, I was sitting there and I realized suddenly, because there was something that triggered something in me. I don't even remember what it was now, but something triggered this stress in me, or this worry or fear. And I could recognize the sensation as this energy, this tenseness in my solar plexus. And I thought, okay, but I know that it's energy. Any emotion is energy, dense or light energy. Joy is a light energy. It moves quickly. It makes you feel light and uplifted. Fear and anger and grief and guilt makes you feel heavy, dense, low. And this fear has an intensity to it. I don't know if you want to try it a little bit now. I urge you to try it, maybe not now, but at least at some point, just to try these exercises that I'm sharing with you. Try and recognize or think of something that worries you, or that brings fear to your life, into your sense of being, and see if you can discover how it feels in your body and where it is. And when you do so, see if you can imagine that this is simply a ball or a fraction of energy taking hold or moving and creating intensity and reaction and sensations in your body. Now imagine, and this is the new one that came to me today, because I've worked with fear in all kinds of ways in my healing work and in my own meditations. But this was an interesting one, because I realized if you imagine this ball of energy, if you imagine that you can sense or feel, or you know that it's this energy that moves, all energy moves. And this has an intensity. Now, if you can imagine that you decide, you program, you tell this ball of energy, this fear, just for the sake, just have fun now, use your imagination and play with it. That's your higher self and your intuition work getting into play. So it's a beautiful, beautiful tool to play and imagine. Imagine now that this ball of energy, it starts to spread out, but it spreads out with the intention of giving you energy, of healing you, of giving you power, of strengthening you, like rays of the sun maybe, moving through your body, touching your cells, giving you healing, giving you some sort of, maybe you see it as a color. Allow this color to be a good color. Imagine that you can actually create a vibrant color from this, and it moves through your body and expands, and it creates this sense of strength, and this fear gets transformed. It gets transformed to power, to strength, to something that you can use to move forward, or to heal your body, or to recognize who you are, or to come back to a sense of being alive. That's what came to me. I urge you just to play with it. I'm going to share a few videos now and in the future about how you can play with your, what I call the superpowers, your intuition, your curiosity, your creativity, your imagination, and see how you can tap into your powers to shift and change things. This is what I do in my workshops. We work very intensively with meditations, with visualizations, and with imaginations and creativity and playfulness in order to discover what's going on in us, and also how we can shift things and heal and make things happen. And this was a very exciting one for me. Now, I've practiced this. So if it's new to you, don't worry about it. Imagine that you are a child playing this, or imagine you're playing a role in a theater, or imagine you're a Jedi and you can use this imagination, this force, to turn the anxiety, the tenseness of the fear into something powerful that permeates your body and gives you strength, ignites you, awakens your body, awakens you. See what happens. It was, to me, very exciting. And my worry, whatever it was, and again, I've forgotten what it was, shifted. I couldn't even think of it anymore. Partly also because I shifted my focus. I focused on this exercise, this playfulness. And so whatever it was that got to my mind disappeared. And it was obviously not very important because it's not coming back. So with that, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy this exercise and exercises like this, if you enjoy these kinds of teachings and talks, press the like button or subscribe or whatever it is that you're watching now. And that would help me to know that this is something that reaches out to people. It would also help other people to find the same information. And then if you want to discover more of what I do, go to my website, emmarowena.no. I'll put it in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun exploring your energies, your sensations, and changing them, shifting them consciously with your own will, your own power, your own creativity and imagination. Have a beautiful day. Many blessings. Bye-bye.